Hi, beautiful Aquarius. Welcome to a new era. My name is Emma. Aquarius, this is your love reading, and I've set the time frame for about all of June of 2021. I just have to say, I just did Scorpio reading, and it was nothing. I mean, it was love in the purest form. It was love for yourself, for your higher self, but it wasn't like a typical boy meets girl, boy meets boy, girl meets girl, whatever your preference is. So just, go with the flow, go with these readings. I set the intention for love to come out, but then the most important message will come out to you anyway. So I'm always trusting in the message. So we're going to see what's going on for you, Aquarius, for the upcoming time frame. Love for Aquarius. What's going on here? Like I said, it's a journey. Go with the flow. It's a journey, so I won't have like an immediate answer like 5 minutes in. I take my time to build up the energy, and it's more towards the end that I have a full picture. So grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and come with me. Okay, I want to start there. So it's so interesting, like go with the flow, and then go with the flow card comes out. Let things happen. So this is a little girl standing on 3 fish, riding a huge wave, where this sort of the support is in her back, and then we have a huge moon there. Could be a super moon just happened. Could be the new moon coming up. So immediately, just wondering, why is this go with the flow card here for Aquarius, please? Aquarius, why is it here? The Hangman, perspective, and 6 of Gabriel. Wow. So it just seems like, okay, the go with the flow is the foundation of the reading. It's like the underlying energy that is happening there for you right now. And then we have 12, the Hangman, perspective. And it says, there's a better way. Pause for reflection and insight. Dare to be different. So I feel like this is past, because this is very present. This is very like, okay, this is what we want to reach. This is where we're going. Go with the flow. And this is sort of speaking more towards the past. But there's the reason why it even comes out, because if the past is dealt with and gone, like those cards would never come out for me. But because it does, it sort of tells me that this was a little bit of a past situation where you needed or need a change in perspective, a little bit of a different angle on what is going on here. And if this is your love life, maybe you just needed to have a different approach to it. Maybe you felt like it wasn't working. It wasn't like whatever relationship you were in, either whether it was like relationship after relationship and they don't work, or if it's something like the same issue keeps reappearing in your already relationship. There's a need of shift in consciousness, shift in your mind, shift of perspective here to sort of get what you want. I always get the circus tent there, like it's like a little bit of a crazy time, like a circus situation is going on. And then you've done a really, really good job at sort of like saying, okay, this doesn't work for me anymore. Whatever situations in the past, and if this is like I said, a love relationship or like romantic relationships and how they have played out, or whatever situation you were in the relationship, it doesn't work. And understanding, you need to go back to basics. You need, when what is that is the connection with your inner being. Just align with yourself again and sort of take it from there. So 6 of Gabriel is very much the purest alignment of the inner being as you can find, because 6 is the connection with your inner being, with your higher power. And Gabriel is about your child, or about your children, or about your inner child. And because we already had this, like this is about you and you need to shift something, you're coming into alignment with your inner child. So there's something about going back to basics and reconnect with your inner child, reconnect with your higher power to find that alignment with yourself again and start from there. Very authentic. I love the blue door there. The blue door always represents this new, there's another way, there's a new opportunity for you to do this differently and in a way more authentic way. So maybe it was like whatever your parents, whatever your society, whatever the traumas of the inner child that were growing up has taught you to how to deal with or how to be in a relationship, like we toss that out and we're stepping through the blue door, which is your throat chakra, like speaking your truth, showing up authentically who you are in the world, almost like a reboot, almost like starting over. Wow. Is there anything else around that? Do we want to go even deeper into that message? Is there anything else there for Aquarius, please? As I sit here and shuffle, I just get a slight, I don't get a full, it's so interesting because sometimes I get the energy of it and it's not the actual physical sensation, but I get like a slight nausea, and there's like, I don't know, the dizziness that happens as I sit here is like strong vibration happening, strong energy around me at this time. So maybe you have like really high vibration around you, or you're tuning into really high vibration around this time. And actually, when I started to talk about this, somewhat 20 seconds ago, so around, actually 6, that's the connection with your inner being. Someone pointed out to me, and I can't remember now what reading it was, but someone pointed out to me in the comment section that sometimes, and it's not that the camera is like doing that, they're trying to find, they're trying to find them, they're zooming in or zooming out. I'm sitting here and they don't have to zoom in or zoom out, but the camera still zooms in or zooms out, which sort of implies that there's something here. And it's like just such a high vibe that the camera actually picks up on it. And when you go back and look at that video, it actually does that. They're actually, that shift is actually taking place. And as I was just talking about being dizzy here, I just actually noticed that thing was happening. And thanks to that person, because I wouldn't have noticed before. I have not paid attention to that. I've not seen that. So something around 6 minutes, there's something about you having a really high vibration. Like that's how orbs, if you take a photo of a situation where maybe guys have been in meditation or there's been a party, like people have been really enjoying themselves, this really high vibration, music, beautiful energy, you take a photo and you find all these orbs. It's just because it's such high vibration that, an orb, that's what it is. It's a super high vibration. We can go into detail about how it can also be spirit and how it can be. But usually, like when there's this circle with all those beautiful patterns in it, is super high vibration in the room at the moment. So high that it finally just condenses. Like it sort of just goes into this ball of energy. And I feel that around you. So there's something here like very high vibrating, very present energy around you. Okay? That's not just for me. That's happening for you. So going deeper into the message, what else do we want to tell Aquarius, please? To find your balance. So this is basically in every area. This is basically when you find out how beautiful a relationship can be if you come from a balanced place, when you find out how beautiful your finances can be if you find your balance, when you find out like it's just a different experience. You get to have a different experience altogether when you're finding the inner balance. It's very much focused on the inner balance here first. I see this as a wheel of fortune as well. So if there's been stuckness, if you have been experiencing like feeling stuck or not being able to move forward, the wheel of fortune comes in to say delays are over, things are being picked up again, like speed is on the way. But there's very much focus on like finding that inner balance, the connection with your inner being, the connection with your inner child, and finding that balance is really important. So this is where you're headed though, or if you're already in it, you so sense it, like to just go with the flow. That's basically saying go with the divine feminine. Go where like the softness is. Go where it feels like life leads you at this moment, where you feel the most inspired to go, where it feels the flowiest, the easiest. Okay, so what else for Aquarius for their love read, please? Again, maybe it has a very different meaning. Cheer up. So maybe Aries got that, and then also Scorpio, and then friendship. But it's very much the same. We're gonna see here. So maybe Aquarius, you have a connection with Scorpio some way, and or maybe you have a connection with Aries somehow, some way. So we're starting here with the cheer up card first. So there's something, definitely you're coming out of something, Aquarius. You're coming out of the, like, a need to change your perspective or a need to change your angle. It can also be that you're so focused in on one, like the Observer. I have another deck with the Observer card, and this is exactly what the Observer card would say. It's like, okay, so if you have narrowed it down to be very focused on, like, or very set in your ways, this is not typical Aquarius, because Aquarius is so much about blazing in a trail. Like you're treading the land where nobody has ever walked before. So it's not foreign to you, or the typical, if we're generalizing Aquarius, it's not foreign to you to go your own path, to go your own, to go where nobody else has ever gone before. That's actually that's inspiring to you. That's what's the most exciting thing is for you. Oh, nobody invented the wheel? Yeah, but it's so freaking hard. Well, I'm gonna give it a go, because if nobody else has done it, I'm gonna do it. It's almost the thing in itself that nobody else has done it, that it's so intriguing to you. So you're not scared of that. So it's not typical Aquarius here that it feels like we're trying to move out of a situation and move into something new. It usually doesn't scare you to be set in your ways and to it usually doesn't scare you to not be set in your ways, but to just try new things, which for other signs or fixed signs can be really, really scary. Like, no, I think I'm quite content here because it feels very safe. But there's something about being a little bit stuck in the past and not really wanting to shift how you view things. You've become so accustomed to just looking at it from one angle, from one perspective, maybe even having struggled to see something from another person's perspective. Like children, like at the very, very early age, they have really trouble to seeing how somebody else would benefit or not benefit from the situation, but completely just mine. Everything's mine. I don't care about what's going on with you over there, because I don't have that possibility just yet. I'm not comparing you to a 3-year-old. I'm just saying there might be something that you have been a little bit stuck on, to just maybe open up your senses, maybe open up your perspective a little bit more, and maybe put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see, okay, is there something that you can get a deeper understanding? And from my perspective, that's interesting when I say use perspective. There's always more to find out about the other person. There's always a different angle, or always a possibility to go deeper and figure it out, and understand even more about the other person. Once you think you figured them out, think again. There's so many more, like, to go around it, to figure out another person's perspective or angle, or So either it's for you. It can also be that this is the guidance for you. Like, you've dealt with another person who's had such a hard time to change their perspective, or change their angle, or change their point of view about you. And to then understand, and then for you to take that back and, okay, so how do I change that? But there's something here that you have become a little bit stuck around, And you need, it's almost like those roots, that floor, that platform, that core that you built in the past that maybe was based on, it's interesting because that's how it started here. It's almost like, okay, so maybe your parents or teachers or society, or you lived and you wanted things, and you maybe had tried to work through relationships in the past based on what your upbringing was, and it's like, okay, we need to cut clean from that, gone with that, and move into what is now truthful for you, right? So it's there's something about, there might be just a little bit still of a umbilical cord, if you will. I know I'm stepping on somebody's toes right now, because Aquarius, you don't like to hear that. You're completely your own, and you're blazing your own trail, and you're so free, and you're so unattached. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would say Will Smith. I have no idea what sign he is, but I would say he's an Aquarius based on not having, I know I've used him as a analogy before, because like they talked one point, I listened to this interview about him and Jada Pinkett Smith, about like Jada loving to have Christmas every year in this house, and he's like, we already spent Christmas there once, like can we just go somewhere else? And she was like, that's the whole point. It's called tradition. It's like, that's what we do every year. It's like, we've done that now. Can we not have Christmas in Japan now? Do we have to have Christmas in the exact same house? Do we have to have a Christmas tree and it's standing in the same spot he's like, if it's done once, he doesn't want to do it again. He's not into a tradition. He wants, and that's probably why he's such a good, those actors that just, they take on a new role and a new vantage point and a new perspective and a new, it's just new, because they're not stuck to this one thing. They even resent it a little bit. Like it hinders their juice to flow. And so there's something to it here, Aquarius. So if you don't recognize yourself whatsoever, maybe you need to have a little bit of a personal checkup. Or if you honestly don't recognize yourself in what I'm talking about, this could be a person that you're dealing with that you just know who this person is. It's like, for the love of yourself, even how much you try to work around it and try to have them let go of their roots and try to like come higher up and look at it from a different, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have low vibration. I just want to clarify that. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have low vibration, but they can be stuck due to past things, due to childhood trauma, due to childhood upbringing. It doesn't have to be trauma, but who hasn't had trauma? It's sort of enough to just come to this world and then you had trauma. It's like you're going through that birth canal. That's trauma enough for me. And there's something about it, like they're holding on to something from the past that sort of doesn't allow them to look at you from a different perspective. Because once they let go of their own way of looking at things, it is like, oh, what are you doing? Like I'm detaching from something. Nothing holds me down. Nothing grounds me. I'm just gonna float away. I don't belong anywhere. So it seems like this thing that they have with them from childhood or growing up is the anchor for them, that they believe. It's almost that like they're codependent with their own anchor, if that makes any sense. And then they create a codependency wherever they go and have such trouble to look at it from a different perspective, because looking at it from a different perspective would allow them to release the anchor, let go of the anchor, and then they will feel like, I don't know where I belong. So either if this is you or if this is another person, there's something about letting it go and have this real like transforming phase, and literally with the 3 faces here happening right now. And it's interesting because I feel like this is sort of you becoming friends. This is friendship, but this is like sort of you becoming friends with yourself. So it's like, okay, we already chose the blue door. We chose the more authentic version of yourself, and you're going towards it. And you're trying a new way. You're trying a new way, an altogether new way. So we have the naive blue first phase, literally first phase. It's a path and also a phase. And then we're coming into the purple phase, which is the upgrade, it's the ascension, it's the awakening. You're starting to realize that you're so much more than this physical body, and there's so much more to you than this one perspective. There's equally many perspectives as there are people, and there's equally many perspectives as there are people having thoughts. Just think about that one for a little bit. There's equally as many perspectives. There's not one person, and just because it's one person, we only have one perspective. That person has the opportunity, has the potential of having as many perspectives on something, versions of something, as they have thoughts. That is so freaking mind-blowing that we can talk about that for a whole other week. But this is about coming into that awakening and even move further into the golden phase, to the golden age. And we talked about this, but from a little bit of a different perspective, from a little bit of a different angle with Scorpio. That's why I say, do you maybe feel, and so again, there's a Scorpio connection here somehow, some way. So I feel like for you, Aquarius, there's such a much more beautiful path waiting for you. It's almost like this is like an inspiration to say, there's a whole other world out there. There's a whole other perspective that would allow you to have just such a different life. Moving out from the blue to the purple to the golden age, to the golden phase there. And as I said, if this is a person, I'll just clarify this first for Aquarius, please. If this is a person that you're dealing with, even change your focus about them. Like, okay, understanding that they're a little bit stuck in they're stuck in their stuckness. Is there such a thing? They're stuck in their stuckness. They almost don't want to come out of this. Like, I know how it is. I know how I've done it in the past, and like, nobody gets to change me. Nobody gets to, and it's not about changing anybody, but it's about upgrading yourself. Just like you wouldn't hold on to your pair of shoes from when you were 6 years old, right? You wouldn't be pissed and say, you don't get to tell me what shoes to wear. Well, I'm just seeing there that they might be a little bit small. You only get half your foot in it. Like the rest of the foot is actually sticking out. Well, these are the shoes that I always wore, so I'm going to stick with them, okay? It's a little bit naive and a little bit childish, I feel. And a little bit of a fear. The reason why it's naive and childish is because it's based in fear that what happens if I let go? What happens if I change my perspective around this? Okay, so what else do we want to say about the situation here, please? Wow, it's a lot of cards. 9, Knight, 7, and 18. So we have 2 7s coming out here. So I'm going to start with this. 7 of Michael here shows you that, okay, you done enough. Like you did all you could in this scenario. You did all you could in this way of looking at things. Like this path, you see it very clearly. This is Michael pointing you to a new direction. It's like you have your baggage and you're already, like you've gotten your baggage from this old path. This old path is being closed. It's very gray and dark and dull. It's like going down that path or going down that route once again. That is just going around in circles. That is really, really just going down in circles. So if this is you, take this in whatever situation you're dealing with. If this is you thinking about re-entering a relationship that you have already been in before, don't. And it's very blunt and it's very direct. And obviously, even though I'm saying this as bluntly as I can, obviously listen to your own intuition, what you feel is the best for you. But what the energy here is that you're trying to actually change your perspective and get out of an old situation, whatever has held you back or has held you down. It's inspiring you, like, this is what we're reaching. Go with the flow. Catch a wave and get the wave to work for you, and don't have to work so hard. So if there's like you're trying something old again, don't. You come to a completion here, and Michael is showing you a new path. There's been drought, like Nine of Gabriel for me is like, okay, so the drama, the trauma around your inner child has come to an end. And it has been a lot of drought. I feel like you were like a very, whether you're a woman or a man, you were like a very, it could have been very tomboyish, if that makes sense. Adventurous, tomboyish is so outdated. You know what I mean? But it's like you were such an adventurous child, perhaps, like really not afraid of anything and not like afraid to try new things, and being the Aquarius child that you were. And then it's like slowly coming, I don't know if life caught up with you, and it's like whatever you dealt with there with your inner child, it has been a lot of drought there. It has been so lush and green before it, and then it has been a lot of drought. So there's been a lot of hardship, I feel, whether that is in finances or relationships or health or whatever that has been for you. But you're now ready to like you're ready to dig and to come into the green again. And for some of you actually see, I don't know how many countries that we have legalized weed, or like the, what is that called? It's very in fashion right now to do that little, you take something herby, you go on a little trip inside of your mind. It sounds like a Akashic, but it's not at all. I think you know what I'm after. It's so popular to just go and have ayahuasca. Akashic. Ayahuasca? Ayahuasca. Or something like that. It's like you drink this plant. I think you drink this plant. I don't know how it works. Can you hear? It might be like one or two people, or one people, or half a people that this is for. That you actually are going to like plant weeds or plant marijuana because it's legalized now in certain parts of the world. Or you going on this trip, literally a trip with this ayahuasca thing to just sort of almost have a reboot, to sort of start over and just sort of try to get to the bottom of things. A cleansing thing. That's interesting. Michael is showing you a new path. We're coming out of the old drama of the inner child, and we're coming into the lush green again. And here's a new person on the horizon. There's a new person coming in. There's planting again there. So we're planting. So maybe this planting marijuana is going to bring you a lot of money. But for the rest of the Aquarius people here, this is a new person coming in. Exactly who you need. So if this is very 3D, if you're trying out an old relationship again, and if this person is actually the person who's not, it's just a big description of this person is just not coming out of their old ways. They can't take your point of view. It's a very narcissistic empath situation sort of lurking around here underneath it. But for the rest of you, it's a person that comes in now. It's a new energy, and you don't have to choose the old. A beautiful new, trustworthy, understanding, devoted, and funny person. I'll take that any day of the week. Trustworthy, understanding, devoted, and funny. There's a new person in love. There's also a lot of beautiful new manifestations happening in your life. This is asking you to claim your power. This is again 7. So it's like you're done enough. You don't have to do anything more. The angels are with you, showing you the way. Put down your foot. This is coming into your authentic self again and claiming your power. which leads you to the moon. So there's something that comes to the surface right now. Something can be hidden that is just coming to the surface. You're finding it out, or finding something out about the past, and that helps you to move forward. We also have so many strong super moons that has already taken place, and we have this ginormous, beautiful new moon on the 10th of June. That is a game changer. So there's like, it's almost like wrapping up old stuff, wrapping up these old relationships, these old versions of yourself, and coming into this new place where you're choosing new. So if the supermoon was sort of dealing with the intense energy and stuff coming to the surface, this new moon, I believe it's in Gemini. Don't take it to the bank because I don't know that 100%, but I believe the new moon is in Gemini on the 10th of June. I know that, which is a completion. 10 in itself is a completion. And June is 6. So the entire month is about your connection with your inner being. So there's a completion there to just start over with your inner being, the reboot. Okay? So this is like coming out of the old. The wheel is starting to spin again. The wheel of fortune is there. It's end of delays. You're moving forward. You're reaching to come in like into this go with the flow energy. And for you to do so, you might actually have to release a person. You have to release some old ways of your own doing, your own thinking, Aquarius. If this is you having a little bit of a hard time to let go of the ways you did it in the past, you just try to let go of that and choose a new path for yourself. So we're going to go deeper into the message and see what else we can find there for you in the extended reading. The link to that is in the description box down below. If not, thank you so much for watching, Aquarius. I hope to see you in the extension. Bye.